December 1971. India intervenes in the Bangladesh Liberation War, supporting East Pakistan's struggle for independence. The Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 ensues, resulting in the creation of Bangladesh and a decisive defeat for Pakistan.
Thus, the Indian armed forces brought the dictators to their knees and the Bengalis to freedom.
1974. India conducts its first nuclear test, codenamed Smiling Buddha, raising concerns in Pakistan and intensifying regional security dynamics. 1979. Soviet intervention in Afghanistan leads to increased tensions and aligns Pakistan with the United States and other Western powers, further straining relations between Pakistan and India. April 1984. Operation Meghdoot is launched by India, seizing control of the strategic Siachen Glacier in a move that escalates territorial disputes between India and Pakistan. And in the same year, Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was assassinated because of the Khalistani movement, a movement that allegedly has a strong backing from Pakistan. Tensions rise as both countries engage in military buildup along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, leading to periodic skirmishes. Bilateral talks and peace initiatives, including the composite dialogue, make limited progress in resolving core issues. Instances of cross-border firing and skirmishes intensify, resulting in casualties and adding to hostilities between Indian and Pakistani forces. Tensions were alarming, conditions were frightening, and both countries were on a verge of war. But then, on a fine day of 1987, amidst all the chaos of both sides of the border, Pakistan President Zia Ul Haq landed in India just to watch a friendly match. And that one decision didn't only stop a war, but also reduce tensions between the countries, because of a mission that not only benefited Pakistan but also India. So how did things take such a dramatic turn for the better? And why did a fascist extremist dictator like Zia decided to visit India unexpectedly? What benefits did he get? And what was that mission?
We are starting off from the areas of agreements rather than from areas of disagreement.
Welcome to SportsWalay, and today we'll be discussing all that and more. But before we get down to business, why don't you hit that subscribe button? It takes a lot of efforts to make quality content for you, so kindly do share some love. To understand all this, we'll need to go a few years back to 1983. England, as usual, was hosting the Cricket World Cup, but the hosts were humbled by India in the semi-final. Kapil Dev and his men were against the defending champions, mighty West Indies. Indian Union Minister Siddhartha Shankar Rao requested the BCCI President N.K.P. Salve to arrange 2 tickets for him, so he can witness the historic match at Lord's. When Salve inquired about the tickets, he was humiliated, as it was the MCC who controlled both the England Cricket Board and the ICC. It was just too much for them to fathom that a third world country like India, which was once ruled by them, can humiliate them, and that too at home. The seats were kept deliberately empty, but not even 2 tickets were given to BCCI President Salve. But little did they know that these 2 tickets would go on to change the map of the cricketing world forever, and will cost them both their respect, pride, and the control of cricket they once enjoyed. India went on to win the World Cup, but Salve didn't forget the humiliation he had suffered, and that's when he decided to do the impossible, to shift the World Cup out of England, which had never been done as all the previous editions were played in England, and there was no chance of moving the mega event elsewhere. BCCI, on the other hand, were a financially struggling board, and they hadn't reached the illustrious heights and power they currently enjoy. Plus, the Board of England, along with Australia, also had veto powers. But Mr. Salve wanted vengeance. He met the board officials of Pakistan and Sri Lanka and discussed, "How beautiful would it be if we could play the World Cup in India?" Salve said. To which Pakistan Air Chief Marshal Noor Khan said, "Why can't we play the World Cup in our own countries? Why not both India and Pakistan host it together?" It was just a normal conversation, a conversation that ended up humbling the strongest cricket board at that time. India, along with Pakistan and Sri Lanka, formed an Asian bloc. On his return to India, Salve met Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and told her about the humiliation he had suffered. And Indira Gandhi was not a woman who could accept this. She immediately picked her phone and dialed the number of business tycoon Dhirubai Ambani. She asked him just one simple question. "If we bring the World Cup to India, will you cover the costs?" To which he replied, "If that ever happens, I will give you a blank check." Salve now had a strong backing. He arranged a meeting in Lahore with the Pakistani and Sri Lankan board officials. Jagmohan Dalmia drafted a basic proposal to move the World Cup out of England, and it was put before the ICC. In a matter of hours, the entire proposal, along with its plan, were buried under objections after objections. But the Asian bloc had a bigger plan. The draft was just a small part of it. They knew that the draft would be rejected, but the plan was just to put the word out. And to seduce the second biggest cricketing board of the world at that time, Australia. Because the Asian board wasn't only proposing to host the World Cup, but they were also proposing a rotational model. They wanted other countries to get their chance to host a prestigious tournament too. And it also had a proposal that after India and Pakistan had hosted the World Cup, it would move to Australia. The Australian Cricket Board chairman also agreed to back the decision, but with a condition that he won't vote against England in an open ballot and instead wanted to do it in a closed one, and that they also won't veto. The two Asian neighbors didn't waste a single moment and formed their India-Pakistan Joint Management Committee, or IPJMC. Noor Khan proposed Salve as the president, and they together went on to persuade associate nations to join them along with other test nations. They proposed more money than what the teams were getting under the MCC. India won the voting with a majority, but the English board was not ready to accept defeat by two third-world countries. For the next 4 years, they came up with several issues, including the ban on South African origin players, then on finances, and then on weather. Nonetheless, the Indian Cricket Board managed to tackle it all until the tensions between India and Pakistan skyrocketed. And this was only 8 months before the World Cup, and with all the preparations almost done. A few of the boards formed a group and contacted ICC regarding the tensions between the hosts. They stated that their teams won't be safe in an environment of war. When IPJMC Secretary Indrajit Bindra reached out to Pakistan President Zia, the stakes were high. A mere no could have shattered the aspirations of both cricket boards. However, General Zia Ul Haq's affirmative response became the turning point. Not only did they successfully host the World Cup, but they also managed to alleviate tensions and avert a potential war. The historic event underscores a profound truth. Sports has the remarkable power to break down borders. The collaborative effort of these two nations demonstrated to the world that unity can indeed achieve extraordinary feats. The tale of these two brothers serves as a powerful reminder that with solidarity and determination, any challenge can be overcome. And on that triumphant note, it's time for us to call it a day. We do hope that you liked the video and found it informative. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the bell icon. Your valuable suggestions are very important to us, so do post them in the comment section. and I'll see you in the next video, so keep watching SportsWalay.